In 2001, I was lucky enough to win a competition, an all-expenses-paid trip to the wilderness of Alaska to photograph grizzly bears on the annual salmon feast. Needless to say, it was the trip of a lifetime and one that I remember for the rest of my life. This trip was a total adventure for me. Not only had I never been abroad before, but I'd never even been on a plane, which for these days is quite rare for a 35-year-old. It took a total of 10 plane journeys to get me from my home in Thailand Weir and back again. After a night in Anchorage, we caught a turboprop to king salmon and then a float plane to the appropriately named Naknek Lake. Naknek meaning bear in Inuit. To our surprise, the weather wasn't the typical Katmai overcast grey that we prepared ourselves for, but a blue sky and 80 degrees Fahrenheit paradise that stayed with us for all our stay. No sooner had we jumped off the plane, we were greeted by our first sight of a grizzly at the mouth of the Brooks River. The bridge is closed were the words that we would hear time and time again when a bear was within 50 metres of the wooden bridge connecting the first viewing platform to Brooks Camp across the river. This brought home the fact that we were the intruders of this land and the bears always had the right of way. At one point, we had to wait for over 4 hours for a bear to make a move away from the bridge, as it snorkeled for sockeye salmon that were making their way up the 1.5-mile Brooks River to spawn in the very place they came from, a journey that would end their life cycle so that others could begin. After lunch at the Brooks Lodge, we stashed our bags in a log cabin and made our way to the viewing platform for our first taste of what we came for, photographing the biggest land predator in North America. Once again, the bridge was closed, but it wasn't long before we headed for the main platform overlooking the Brooks Falls. The 2-mile walk was an uneasy one, as the thick vegetation made perfect camouflage for grizzlies. Surprising a bear in these conditions could have dire consequences, so it was important to let them know that you were there. Shouting, "Hey bear," as you walked seemed to be the favourite call for the camp. At the falls, we were surprised at the amount of bears that were waiting for their lunch of fresh salmon. I counted 15 in all. It was from here that the personality of these very wild animals shone out. It seemed that they'd all found the best way to catch a fish. Some waited at the foot of the falls and tried to pin a salmon under the paw, before diving into the white water to retrieve it, while others would just wait, mouths opened at the top of the falls, in the hope that the hapless salmon would do all the hard work for them. Because some parts of the falls are better to fish than others, conflicts between the large males for dominancy are inevitable. Careful study of the bear's behaviour would indicate when these standoffs were about to happen, and you could train your lens on the likely individuals to capture a truly awesome spectacle. However, most of these incidents resulted in the kind of "if looks could kill" moment, and the bears passed without injury. Further down the stream we found the lesser males trying to make do with the injured fish and scraps that had been discarded or lost from the falls. These animals were maybe too small or not strong enough to compete with the larger, more experienced males further upstream. Their sometimes comical approach to fishing made good subjects as they splashed around like kids in a swimming pool. As we spent some time at Brooks Camp, a sow, or female bear, arrived with her cubs. Most sows give birth to 2 or 3 cubs, but this sow had 4 to look after, no mean task for any mother, bear or human. Unfortunately, we were told that the smallest of the 4 would probably not see September, as it was well undersized for its age, and was likely to fall prey to another great hunter, the bald eagle. During our stay, yet another sow and a cub arrived to have their portraits taken by us grateful photographers. It was truly a wondrous sight as they played in the long grass at the foot of the viewing platform in the evening light, a light that didn't go till around 11:30 p.m. In fact, it never really got dark the whole time we were there. One of the benefits for us photographers being so far up north. When you see a grizzly bear, what do you see in your head? Do you see the snarl and hear the roar as muscle and fur as a vicious, bloodthirsty animal charges towards you, determined to separate you from your life in a torturing, agonizing fight to the death? If so, where does this fear come from? I've had the privilege to witness at first hand the power of these magnificent animals, and in their natural environment. But the power isn't one of fear, it's one of beauty and respect for one of nature's most misunderstood animals. The experience has changed my outlook on life and has showed me that fear is only a lack of knowledge and understanding of the world we share. So, if you ever need to feel your place on the small blue planet we live on, go to Brooks Camp, Alaska, and take your place in line for the salmon run with the Grizzlies.